yang tadi absen tuh.
Oh iya, calokan. Ya, calokan. I can handle it. This place. Ah,
It has next It's okay. Ini. Coba buka. Halo, Yorobun. Mau ganti duplikat tak? Soalnya ininya bingung kalau ini. Next ang abig ako. Bedanya sana. Itu ya. Ini di admin aja ada yang operatornya satu. Boleh. Kenapa baca buku? Sebenarnya kuliah and honorable on the postgraduate program, Mrs. Our honorable guest lecturer, Professor of Hiroshima University, lecturers, fellow students of the subject academic, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. I'm going to will be your master ceremony today. First and foremost, we would like to thank you for attending the public lecture of the Department of Study Program, still African Plan and Policy Development. The topic for today's public lecture is how to publish papers in the journals, which will be presented by Professor Kubota of Hiroshima University. Our moderator for today is Ms. Yasemi of allow me to share a short evening about our work. Ms. Aquilas earned her bachelor degree in architecture from Institute of Technology School of Management. She also continued her degree in building science from Institute of Technology School of Management, and she's currently pursuing her doctorate in mathematics. She's lectured and research in fields of design, building physics, and simulation, especially working in France, Trisakti, and Abu University from 1990 to 2000. She is also a professional community practitioner, several prioritized global projects, including Tower and David Tower from 2010 until now. Organizational experiences include the language association of Enterprise, Indonesia, and without further ado, please welcome our moderator, the floor is yours.
Reportnya Magister Doktor. Oh iya, dipaksa ada si Dewi, pas kan tanpa ada konfirmasi. Oh iya, saya nggak tahu loh kalau saya itu officer si Kubota ngomong gitu. Dewi, lagi ngomong gitu.
Aduh, ini kenapa sih?
Dia senang software. Ya dia seolah-olah, kok anakku udah membantu kamu, proyek kamu,
Pak
terus apa
Doni,
aku dimasukkan, terus gua langsung
suaranya
gitu.
bocor, Pak.
Jadi nggak bisa nolak ini. Ya orang kayak gitu. Dia ngomong aku orang pas waktu nanganu tuh. Kemarin Jumat kan aku
For Professor Kubota, present is Madam Anjali is curriculum. Professor Kubota from Hiroshima University is not about from the bicycle, I think educational background. Kubota Institute of Technology Graduate School, Division of Engineering, Division of Regional Environmental System, Japan, and Kubota Institute of Technology, Faculty of System Engineering, Department of Architecture and Environmental System, Japan, and will study this PhD for an international corporation research focuses on the development of energy saving and low carbon sustainable costs with the global reform. Supports solar energy is to make the development of low carbon available apartments in fortunate climate Indonesia towards next colony. Actually, I already the preferred Professor Kubota already has published paper. Amazing. Okay. You have this I would like Kubota has some strategy to publish individual journals. And Professor Kubota want to interact discussion. And if the participant has immediately or either discussion, please don't hesitate to type in the chat room or right side directly to the students.
This one is challenging for me because I think I should publish more paper for the community speculation because that one is really challenging. How to publish and to put it and also yeah, I think it's so hard. The only thing I think is kind of fortunately some other university concept. Therefore, this offer has policies to give that all is still there's a code. But I use okay, no problem. I have already a nice street and also people have. So therefore now I okay, yeah, continue to keep this. But anyway, it's also challenging because I know that already some of you are already publishing with papers. Especially in the case of independent, especially in the case of students. Therefore, my candidates has to primary. If you think so, tell me. And then I feel like confident in the video.
Since we have, yes, also in this one, this.
May go home. Let's begin that. But anyway, I think to make the class interesting and so on and so forth, so therefore, as the chairperson mentioned, let's enjoy the interactive discussion as much as possible. Right. So therefore, the topic need to give the question even yeah, and also the yes, as I mentioned, they are very boring. This is absolute normal. So then you so that they just raise your hand and then I try my best to improve the content something in the video. And yeah, let's begin. Okay. Okay. As you know that the typical components of the journal paper is this international interest set and then the merit or material and some experiment. Grade is interest set, results, and discussion of the so therefore today I'd like to keep in line with the yes, the required components from introduction until the conclusion. Here only until discussion. Anyway. Right. Before talking about these necessary components, I just want to give you a small but big important introduction. First of all, so before right, we need to think a couple of things. Right. One is first of all, let's think of the reason why research and write paper. Perhaps you may say that before, so that you are required to publish two papers before publishing for submitting PhD thesis. But that is your motivation. Right? But anyway, so except for that, what is the reason why we need to publish papers? Very pure scientific reason is, I hope, is that we have findings, right? We have some new information. Right? We want to show this new information to the others. So that's why we publish. Right? So the key point is that, yes, new findings. Right? If someone already obtained the same results or something, it is not necessary for you to publish paper in this state. Right? As long as you have something, okay, so then that is the reason why we need to publish papers, right? So that is the pure scientific application, except for the legal. So therefore, this is seriously important. The most important thing for the publication is new findings, that is scientific contributions, right? Scientific contribution is the minimum, but in a way, the most important required points for the publication. That's why we need to publish, because we have now new findings that may contribute to the existing body of knowledge. Right? So maybe you are very curious about the level of journal. Right? Sometimes, yes, you may require to publish paper and Q2 or Q3, I don't know, Q1 level, or etc. Impact factor journal, for instance, or something. Right? So, what is the most important determinant for the level of the journal? In short, yes, novelty, because the most important is the scientific contribution. If the scientific contribution of viewers is large, okay, you can look in time journal. Right? So the level of the journal is, almost 100% depends on the novelty or originality, especially novelty of the study. Right? Second important is the generalization, also very important. That also determines the level of journal. Right? Well, this chart is in a way, yeah. What x-axis indicates no variableness plus generalization. Generality based. Right. I believe these two criteria is the most important point that determine the level of journal. Yes, as the novelty or generality increases, yes, straightforwardly, you can, yes, you can go for high level of journal. If the novelty is low or zero, so this means that your finding is not necessarily new. Right? So in that case, it's very difficult because this is not new. Right? But the most important for the journal paper, or scientific paper, is that novelty. Right? So therefore, in that case, it's a little bit difficult to go for the higher level of journal. Right? Even article or difficult to accept. I believe that that is an important border between article and report. Okay. Fine. If the novelty is almost none or negligible, for instance, in that case, this means that someone already conducted similar study and obtained the similar results. Right? In that case, what you do is just a confirmation. Right? In that case, that is not, strictly speaking, considered to be accurate. That's a report. That is here. Your result is something small, but some new point is there. So you just extend slightly the existing knowledge to a certain extent. Right? That is extension, let's say. Right? Okay, it's considered to be accurate, but still, okay, not enough to reach Q1 or something. Right? If your result is interesting, very new, very novel, very original, right? Then you can go for high level journal, right? In our field, as you know, the top journal, this is just an example of building an environment, energy and buildings, and so on and so forth. And then for your information, so in which case we can go for more, much higher journal, like science, nature. In my opinion, for me also, I don't have experience actually to go for such a high journal. I believe that this is partially because of the field, our field. And the point is that generality. For instance, some of the knowledge, okay, something related to the gravity, something, for instance, Newton, for instance, Einstein was thinking, physical knowledge or something is that can influence on the almost all the academic fields. Right? So this means that the contribution is quite huge. Right? Or maybe if you have some, find some very important medicine for cancer, for instance, or maybe the COVID, for instance, right? You can contribute a lot. Right? Huge contribution. Right? In that case, you may be able to go for such a tremendously high level, nature or science. Right? Important is if you contribute to the, so the specialization, and in that case, yes, you can go for such a higher level. So therefore, within our field, architecture, a little bit difficult. It's very difficult to produce such a general, universal, knowledge of something. So therefore, I believe that for us, it's a very rare to reach such a highest level. Right. Again, I see what you said. Yeah, that's all right. Then, so, this one. Is it okay? Oh, exactly. Okay, so it's something. Yes. Okay. Quick for that. So therefore, before starting right? So read this, step down and then see the picture of your field, right? So the probably the very, very first step of the writing the paper. Right? Why this is important? Because yes, as I mentioned very repeatedly, and your findings or paper should be something new. Right? So therefore, first of all, just step back and see the overall picture of it. And you need to, identify and make sure that your findings are new. Right? Okay, so then first, beforehand, make sure of your contribution. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then these things are also the primary steps. Right? You should give by yourself some very primary questions. First of all, number one is yes. You need to identify and then make sure the importance of your son. Say, why it is not okay. Yes. And then the next one is make sure aim and goal of study. And next one. Next, please. Okay. And then and also the next conclusion. So these are probably the first important question before writing the paper. Next one. And next one. This one is sometimes important actually. Right? Introduction, especially the research question and the conclusion, should be the two sides of the coin. Right? So this is sometimes very important. Sometimes I think that based on my observation, the young students tend to start with very too big introduction. Background is very huge. So for instance, we're talking about global environment, and then the carbon emission and etc. Global issue. So your conclusion is this. Right? Your conclusion should respond to the research questions that you set in the introduction. Right? So this is very important point. Right? The conclusion and the research question in the introduction is just either or two sides of the coin. Right? So please make sure consistency of the two research question and the conclusion. But first, I think that this is also the normally you tend to write the paper from the beginning. So then maybe young researchers is struggling actually to write the introduction because the introduction is sometimes difficult, especially for the beginners, right? But the one interesting alternative way is to write the conclusion first. Right? That's very in a way straightforward, and then sometimes right? First, write the conclusion first, right? And then what you need is to some background and research questions that your conclusion respond to. Right? So therefore, the first, this is also the first step. Write the conclusion, and then after that, you can write the introduction. Right? Okay. Next one. Okay. Right. Next one. Next one. Right. These two criteria are also important sometimes. Right. One is the suitability. Right. This criteria is important, especially for journal editors. Right. So we should answer this question. For instance, is your paper really suitable for that journal paper? Right. Each of the journal has its own scope. Right. So carefully take a look at the scope analysis of the journal, and then please check whether your results or contents is very suitable for the scope of the journal. Right. So then the credibility. Right. And then this is also important, especially for the other researchers. Right? So make sure the importance, why your research is so important to leaders. Right? The following scholars. Right? So these things are of course important question. Right? And then the importance, and this is also important. We should think of the following research. Sorry. Right? So being productivity is also important. Many young researchers or following scholars may refer to your paper and then people do the same study. So therefore they should obtain the same results. So after reading your paper and then if they do the same research, right, they should be able to obtain the same results. Right? So that aspect in people using it is also important consideration. Next, please. Right. These are important. Simply speaking, the components of the scientific paper is this. As I mentioned, important is the scientific contribution. Okay. In introduction, we do like I will tell you the detail. In introduction, we review the existing studies and make sure the existing knowledge. Right? This means yes, existing. In introduction to the literature review, we make sure the existing knowledge. Right? So this means that we make sure to what extent we know. Right? In other words, we make sure that horizon of your of your field, and then your results should be new. So this means that yes, you put something on the horizon, so it is new. So that is that is result part. Result part is new. On top of the horizon, on top of the existing knowledge, after making sure of the to what extent we know, we do the new findings. Good. And then in the discussion, okay, first of all, I believe that the most important component of the scientific paper is what we think. That discussion, I don't know. Most the discussion, I think, is the most important. Why discussion is so important? The role of the discussion is just like preach. We preach the existing knowledge and the new findings, right? And citizens. And then you make sure how your new findings contribute to the existing knowledge. Right? So that is the role of the discussion. Right? Many people do not understand the role of discussion. The role of the discussion just preach, right? Preach between the existing knowledge and new findings, and then make sure how your findings, new findings, contribute to the existing knowledge. Right? That is the role of the discussion. This one. So it's quite simple, right? Only three things. In introduction, make sure of the existing knowledge, and then by using figure and charts, therefore you put the new information, and then in the discussion, you make sure how your findings contribute to the existing knowledge. That is scientific. It's quite simple in a way. So that's why scientific contribution is the most important. In other words, in discussion, we will make sure the scientific contribution. In other words, right? So that's why discussion is considered to be the most important. Right? Next, please. That's better. Yeah. All right. What is this? Next one. Next one. Okay, so you know, this one also, yes, I think that next diagram comes. Right. This also shows the typical structure of the scientific paper. Yeah. Normally five, at least chapters or sections, from introduction until the conclusion, as I mentioned. Like introduction, I'm not repeating, but this is the most important message. In introduction, the role of make sure of the existing knowledge. In methodology, this one is, I think that now I'm explaining first time, yes, is we make sure approach. How do you approach to that? How do you obtain your findings? Right? So the methodology just explain the approach. How do you access to the? How do you obtain the findings approach? And then the new information is exactly the result. And then the students complete discussion. Then you make sure of the contribution, scientific contribution. Good. And then in introduction, I will tell you that we identify set our questions, that is research questions. Final conclusion give you answers that respond to the research question. Good. So therefore, this and this is just a mirror, as I mentioned. Two sides of okay, structure. It's a simple type. In other words, make it simple. Simple paper is better. Clear paper is very important. Next, please. Then from here, let's go one by one. And then after the long introduction, let's move on to the spacing sections. First is the introduction. Please go ahead. Okay, but in a way that this chart illustrates the structure of the introduction. Right? First is the background. Yeah. Now I'm talking about content inside of the introduction. Right? First, we start with the creativity task, but not too large. This is also important. Not too large. The background. We keep some the very basic information about first, and then we narrow down. And finally, specify the specific scope and give the objectives. Good. That is the main structure of the introduction. Good one. Next one. Maybe yeah. Okay. Let's complete. Okay. Oh, in a way, I have already mentioned. In a way, yes, I have already explained most of these things. But in this chart also nicely illustrates typical sequence of that. First is the background, as I told you already, right? And then the background is the basic information, right? That just scope now. Just the contents for your study. And then okay, so that's the introduction, the background first. And after that, we normally do the literature review, as I mentioned. Right. And then yes, make sure the existing knowledge that I mentioned the very beginning. Right. So we should make sure yes, to what extent we know. Very important. Right. And then what is unknown. Right. This is I will tell you later. Right. This is the purpose of the literature review. Why the literature review? Because number one is to understand the existing knowledge to what extent we know. Right. Second, most important is after that, we need to identify the gap. That is so called, as you know, research gaps. And so that is the purpose of the literature review. Yes. So yes. So in short, number one, we should make sure what is known. Number two, we should make sure what is unknown. That is literature. Good. And then after finding the gap in the field of your study, then you should put your research questions, right? Which is including assumption. And then you can tell us how do you approach to that question, right? I think it's objective. Good. Okay. So these are you already need a step. First, you put the question, and then second, you think how you will approach to this question. That is objective. Okay. Perfect. Right. Good. Next one. Okay. So then, right, this part is the so-called literature. All right, then let's move on to the literature review. Next one. Literature review is just like this. You understand? If you can understand, now I think you do understand what the literature is. This, for me, perfectly illustrates the meaning of the literature. Let's go back, please. Maybe animation is there. Okay. Right. As I mentioned, yes, the main objective of the literature review is to find or identify the clarity, the originality. In other words, scientific contribution. Good, right? In other words, we need to, identify or say your research is new, good, compared with the existing knowledge. And then this forest is, let's say, the existing, body of knowledge. In other words, weight of knowledge. Okay, good. And then the next, let's keep once again. Okay, thank you. Interestingly, your one single scientific paper is just like a leaf. Interesting. And then now you want to put your leaf, your study onto the existing knowledge, which is existing tree. And good. Then the finding a research gap is just like this. You need to find a gap in the tree. And that is research. Okay. So then, if you put your leaf on exactly on the same place of the existing leaf, your leaf is not functional. You need to put your leaf in some gap. And then ideally, you need to contribute to grow the tree. So that is the role of literature. That is the finding the research. And then tree is a good example. Why? Because literature is just like this. Yeah, this is the whole body of knowledge. And then this is just like your specific research area, for instance, passive learning, for instance, or thermal mass insulation, for instance. Right? And then in such a specific research field, already there are thousands of studies, as you know. Right? And then researcher A already gave this kind of research, and then research was this and this and this and this. And then by all together, we researcher accumulate knowledge and then construct a tree. Right? So all we need is to understand the structure of a tree. Right? That is literature. Right? For instance, that in US, okay, this group of researchers conducted this kind of study and contribute to this field in this way. Right? In Africa, on the other hand, some group of researchers conducted a different kind of study in this field and contributed differently. and constructing the extended tree like this. Right? So you need to understand which is the main trunk, or this is perhaps the main researcher in the tree, or some branch, and this, and this, and then the overall structure of the tree. Right? So that is the role of the researcher. And then eventually you need to find where research, where are the still unsolved areas. So that is research. So therefore, in the literature review part, so in a way that this is very abstract, the how to say the expression, abstract explanation that we need to draw the tree, right? In the literature review part, you understand? This is the main trunk, and this is the main branch, and this is the some important leaves in this trunk. And etc. We should draw nicely the structure of the tree in the literature review part and identify the researchers. Good. Next, please. Okay. Oh, good. So therefore, this is by the way, some people may say, may think that the research is individual work. In fact, it is individual work. We always isolated in the research lab or research office, and then we concentrate on writing. It's a completely this is individual work, but in fact, we are working together with other researchers. The research is completely different. What we do is to put the leaf and construct the big trees, construct a big forest, but all together globally. So that is research. So interesting. This illustration, therefore, it's the same. Okay. Good. Next, please. Here is just an example. So first, I'd like to tell you that poor example. This is not a good example, but you may find this kind of things. Typically, especially beginners, young researchers tend to do this kind of literature. Okay, look at the first. You may say that researcher A conducted this, researcher B conducted this in Africa, researcher C, and practically you just describe who conducted what. Very boring. This is just a report. No discussion. Next, please. This is apparently not a good example, right? Because as I mentioned, this just describe who did what, right? And then this does not, demonstrate the ratio for your study, right? No discussion, right? You have no intention, and then does not discuss very implications, right? Just flatly report what each study showed, right? That's boring. It's not necessarily a good example. And let's take a look at the slightly better. Good. Next one. Next one. This is not my example. First, I my example first. But anyway, this is textbook. I wrote this textbook. Let's read. Okay. Very little consideration is given to toughness issues in insulation performance of buildings when factor-based models are employed to explain the thermal performance. Good. And major law and this one, okay, suggested three major factors to dampness in buildings with the standard risk mode silver and so instead use Tosca-based model to perform numerical simulations to analyze blah 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 blah. Okay, good. And so on and so forth. And this investigate the thermal performance arising in darkness contribution to the. What do you think? Can it be? Okay. Thank you. I think this is better, perhaps compared with the, the just structurally explain the show the, papers. Right. Let's analyze this. Can you go ahead? Okay. Now, first sentence, just identify the topic and motivation very clearly. Right? So that is very little consideration is given to darkness issues in insulation, performance of buildings, and etc. This sentence clearly identify the topic. So now I'm talking about this topic. So very first introduction. Next. And then review two studies focusing on the topic. Right? So this now the first, identify the specific topic. And then for this topic, so now, the author gave two examples to discuss this topic. That is, this, suggested this, and this instead use the custom blah blah blah. Right. Very specific examples to focus on one topic. Good. Next one. And then discuss the limitation. But, either of them. Right, discuss the limitation. Right. Next one. And then the next is the additional information. Right. Please go back again. Previous slide. Previous bottom, please. Okay. So then at the end, at end of the sentence, so they discuss the thermal performance. Right. And then the next paragraph discuss further about this specific topic, thermal performance. Next, please. All right. Then the gentleman investigate the thermal performance that are arising in this. And then continuously further discuss specific topics. Good. And narrow notes. Right, this is perhaps better, right? Previous example. Okay, let's take a look at the next example. Next one. Okay, this is one of the typical structures for the next, please. Next, please. What's next? Okay. Right. After the literature, yes, this is what we need. We need to identify, set our main questions, and then objectives. Good. Let's take a look at the next slide. This is not so difficult, but it's many papers actually. Almost 2 papers a month or something like that. I don't want to do that actually. I review papers more than I publish actually. And then some papers, sometimes they forgot to do the research questions actually. Impossible. Don't forget to put the research questions very clear. Research question is just this. After, as I mentioned, identifying the research gaps, you should put assumptions, questions, and then in conclusion, you should respond to you should give answer to the questions that you said. So that is very important point. And anyway, this is one of the examples. This is our example, so therefore I can easily do it. So our research question this time was to the best of the author knowledge. This is talking about indoor air quality, right? And then our research question at that time was this: to the best of our author's knowledge, no indoor air quality study has yet been conducted for possible chemical induced sick building syndrome in newly constructed urban houses in the developing countries. This is question. And then how to, answer this question. And that is the objective. So therefore, we investigated the current conditions of indoor air quality and self-reported multiple chemical sensitivity in newly constructed high-rise apartments. In contrast, in those in traditional running houses, which is common in the city of Jakarta and Surabaya. Okay, now. But anyway, the point is this research question and objectives should be closely linked in the system. So that's the point. Next question. This is just the also still example. I think you can easily imagine when you refer to some examples. So this specific example, title was yes, this was talking about urban island. Just imagine. And then our research question was this. It is apparent that the relevant studies in growing cities of Asian region, particularly in the tropical Southeast Asian region, are still lacking. Okay. And given the size of the program and potential concerns, that is our question. And then how to respond, how to answer these questions. Okay, this is lacking, so therefore we, main objective of the study is to examine the impact of the land use change brought by the master plan on Manito Island, rapidly growing city of Manito through scenario analysis. And let's see. Okay, and that is not necessarily difficult. But anyway, so we should start step by step. Question and object. Good. Next one. Methods. We come to the second chapter. Okay, let's go ahead. Next one. Yes, just try to answer the two requirements. Try to meet the two requirements. One is for especially pure reviewers, and one is for your friends, researchers in your field. Okay, so yes, especially for the reviewers, the important requirement is yes, as a reviewer, yes, you need to check the soundness, appropriateness of the solidness of your research method. If your research method is not sound and solid, okay, we cannot trust the results. So that's a key point from the reviewer aspect. So we carefully check the appropriateness, solidness, and then yes, these things are important criteria for reviewers. For the other friends, the researcher in the same field. Yes, as I mentioned, they may use your paper for the same research. And being for the producibility is important aspect. Please keep in mind these things. So therefore, next important is that yes, clear content, transparency is the most important requirement for that method part. Please clearly explain your method in order to meet these two criteria. Next one. It's simple, actually. It's simple. Probably you have already practiced, actually. But let's summarize the key points for the methodology. One is that, very simple. Who, what was used in the study? Basic information. Everybody do that. And then the next is how you conducted the study. Okay, that is the common sense. And then the data, that's number two. But it's very simple, but I think this is almost a necessary component. That's the idea. It's fun. Oh, it's a very long example. But yes, it's a very long methodology. But yes, if I assess my paper, yes, I also yes, this methodology section contains at least 3 components. Please take a look. Next one. This. Yes, this. Right. The first part clearly explains what was used in the study. When and where the study was conducted. And then the following information is the specific method for sample size, questionnaire, data analysis, evaluation, and also the measurements. Why so long? Because we applied, we conducted not only questionnaire, but also the measurement and etc. Simulation at the same time. So therefore, we had to explain the detailed method one by one. So therefore, but still the necessary component is the same. First is the basic information. Second is the how data is working and how we analyze. 3 components. Next one. Oh, yes, this one. This one. This is not example. Let's take a look at next page. This is just the social science now. Okay. A bit too long, actually. Because this is maybe you can take a look at example. But this one also simple example, but this also comprises 3 components. Okay, the first is yes, this. The introduction. First, identify the framework. And second, and quick. Why this is the book? I will tell you later. This is also important actually. Some rationale is now required after explaining the method. I will tell you. Next one. Yeah, the how line. Okay. Oh, this is a bit important. Next one. And then okay, great. I will tell you by using my example. Otherwise, I cannot put my passion and this is my example. And this is again talking about the interior quality, which is perhaps something to do with the topic. Next. Okay, this one I will tell you, but once again, yeah, not this once. That's not it. Let me see. Face-to-face interviews were conducted in Surabaya and Jakarta, respectively. In Surabaya, the investigation was conducted in 5 lines apartments from September to January 2018. For very basic information, I'm talking about when, how the survey was conducted. And total of these respondents were interviewed. Meanwhile, in Jakarta, the investigation was carried out in 55 apartments. Still very basic information. August when? August to October. Similarly, a total of 276 respondents were interviewed. Still very basic information. And the interviews were conducted using the questionnaire form comprising the QC, let's say, developed by this, and several additional questions. Okay, good. And then the questions were filled during the face-to-face interview with randomly chosen occupants from previously selected areas. And then put some further information. The average respondent rate was 66% in Surabaya, 61% in Jakarta, respectively. And from here, I will tell you later, important, there are some reasons why we use this question form. The QC is an instrument to measure the multiple chemical sensitivity. One of the occupants that used to describe non-specific health complaints due to blah, 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 blah. And then I quote some paper. It has been used in other studies on building related symptoms in various countries across the world, and cite some papers. And this validity and reliability has been tested already in several countries. such a, some convincing explanation nowadays is very important. I use this method. I use this software. That's all. If so, it's a no rational. Why do we use this software? Why do we use this method? Right? So we should give some convincing explanation. And then to make sure our patient why this is okay. But such a information is important. Go ahead, please. And let's analyze the structure. Okay, first sentence is this. Next, please. What was done? That? Yeah, first part is okay. What was done? And then next. Samples. Okay, good. Next. What was done? Okay. And what kind of method were run? Of course, it's important. And next. And how we sample. Okay, good. And next is the restoration. Why is it? Why not? Okay, good. And then here also normally we put some papers actually in order to support our selection of method. So this is not a literature review, but yes, we should put some papers. Good. Next one. Okay, this is the overall. Next. Good. Okay. Right. This is just a summary of the method part. Transparency. Next one. Results. Next one. Now I'm talking about this. So if you go for social science, something, perhaps approach can be different. Right? But if we talk about this data, we normally show the new findings by using the figure and the tables. So yeah, it's quite important. This one. But the most important point is here. Right? Yeah, you are already familiar with your leaders to say results, but the leaders do not. Right? So please keep in mind. So therefore, please properly explain your figures and chart so that all the leaders can understand this. Right? So for that purpose, what should we do? How can we explain our results and findings nicely to the leaders? So please think of this. Next one. Okay, so this is perhaps a typical, the sequence. How do we normally explain the figures, tables? Right? First is that normally in all the cases, actually, the good explanation is overall first. We explain the overall, and then we go into detail. Right? This structure is always good. This is the case for the figure explanation also. First, please explain the overall. What your figure shows. So therefore, very typical sentence is given that figure 1 shows this, figure 1 illustrates this, figure 1 presents the results of this. That's normal actually. First sentence clearly explain the overall picture of the right. Second is you need to highlight the tendency or some patterns from the figure, right? So that the reader can understand the points. Right? So that is second. And then the third is to emphasize, highlight the key points and key findings. Of course, in a way, if you show the one figure, this one figure contains so many information. If you do not guide the readers to see, I think you don't understand which is important, which is not. You should clearly guide. You should clearly emphasize. Okay, gentlemen, out of all the figures, this one is important. So that is the third one. So you need to emphasize and summarize the key findings. Okay, good. Okay, now overall explanation, and then explain the tendency or patterns, so that reader can understand the meaning of the figure. The second point, and then pick up and highlight the most important findings. That's number 3. Good. Very simple. Next one. Don't repeat. Right. Even this kind of lecture, repeating boring. So yes, please avoid repeating. Sometimes, especially for young research, for instance, they tend to repeat the results. And they show the result in figure form, and next you show the same results in a different form. Therefore, form is different. Content is different. So such a repeating is really, it's not thank you. It's not the form is speaking. Please avoid the duplicate. Don't repeat. This one. Right. Okay. I think I have already this one. Next one, please. All right. Let's take a look at the example. And again, next one. This one, I think let's, again, let me do. This is not the long. This is the figure. I show this figure to some of the friends. So, the title is important, by the way, action. But very carefully select the, suitable words for the title. Title should clearly indicate the contents of that figure. Very important. Here, the multiple chemical sensitivity, risk, and sensitivity. What do you think? With this in mind, let's take a look at my humble explanation. Okay, this. The final calculated results of multiple chemical sensitivity, so MCS, and sensitivity were analyzed by respective housing types. So this is completely an overall explanation. This figure shows the final calculated results of multiple chemical sensitivity, right? And analyzed by respondent respective house types. Very easy. Slavia, apartment in the compound in Slavia, this and this. This is talking about house type. Okay. Clearly explain the overall picture of the good. As shown, only 21% of the respondents show some degree of intolerance in compound. But the percentage of probability respondents is significantly higher in apartments, which is 48.8% in Slavia and 0.7% in Jakarta, respectively. Please talk about the trends. And then the degree of sensitivity is significantly higher in apartment compared to compound. Very short, but this is the most important message. And just for your information, this is true actually. So-called sick building syndrome is now happening, especially apartments compared to compound. So very simple message. This is the most important findings from this chart. And apartments. Here, the bone color, let's say, it's bigger than that of compound. So that is a big findings. This. Okay, this is only 2 sentences. Perfectly, follow the guidelines. Overall explanation, and then explain the trends. And, pick up the main findings. Good. Next one. Next one. This is trend. Let's say supporting data. This expression is not so good. This simply explains the trend. Next one. Then main findings. Good. Next one. More than one. Korea. Then I hope you like this. Anyway, this paper is talking about phobia actually. The effect of thermal effect of phobia in Chinese past. This is slightly long, but again, yes, the components, is the same. Structure is the same as that of before. Okay, let's analyze the components. Okay, please. Next. Yeah. Then next, yeah, just introduction. Explain the overall. Next, explain the tendency or trends, patterns. Next, and then emphasize the important key findings. Good. Please, if you are interested in after this, yes, the lecture. Next one. Very simple. 3. Okay. Then discussion. Now, okay, already you understood. I believe. Therefore, although discussion is the most important, I believe it is not necessary to be important point. Just in case, this is the point now. Next one, literally between next existing knowledge and new findings. So this is very important. Why we need to reach the introduction and research part. Reach through the discussion. Because we need to identify the scientific contribution. Good. Imagine that, please imagine that existing knowledge, the first introduction, make sure the existing knowledge and make sure of the horizon. Then we do something new. Then after that, slightly step back in the discussion. Then we need to say that your findings can contribute to the existing knowledge. That's discussion. Good. Next one. Next one. Slide. Okay. These are some of the examples. Okay. Maybe we can skip this. It's not our. Next one. Next one. First, motivation. Second, yes, key findings. And yes, implications. The key point is implications. We should implicate and we should emphasize. Wow, right? So, next one. We will talk. Yeah, I'd like to explain by using our observer. Next one, please. Okay, this is ours. Oh, but a bit long now. This one again the courtyard. So previously presented here, internal courtyards are effective in securing airflow as well as daylighting from house. It was found that closed internal courtyard is better able to maintain lower indoor temperature in a hot humid climate, particularly during the day, even though the reduction in air temperature will reach the air throughout the day. As a living space, it is important to utilize all airflow to spread evaporation of occupants while also avoiding excessive humidity. Even though close ventilation will increase indoor air temperature to a certain extent. Therefore, to achieve indoor thermal comfort in and around the courtyards, close ventilation courtyard within the slow restricted recommended in hot climate. One way to implement the closed ventilated courtyard in a different house is to design multiple closed courtyard that are connected with each other, as presented in this. And let's analyze. Next, please. Let's analyze. First is the motivation. Okay. And then the second is the key findings. Right? First, motivation. Why we discuss? Good. Right? And then you repeat and pick up the key findings from that. Okay. right? Results. Result is simply report the results, right? Not a practice, right? And then in discussion, you pick up the key findings and then bring it to discussion. Good. Right? And then this is most important findings. Good. Next. And then you interpret why this result is important, how this result compares with existing knowledge. Right. This is the most important part of the discussion. Next one. And then sometimes we make some recommendations. Okay, good. And then also, if you wish to, emphasize and make sure of the contribution, for instance, why this result contribute to the existing knowledge. And sometimes we do the comparison. Okay, this result was this. This researcher obtained different result, but ours is this. Right? So we can say so, only based on comparison. So therefore, in the discussions, in many cases, we pick up some existing, papers and compare, and then we emphasize. Okay, so this is the previous result, but our result is this. Very good. So that's why our result contributes to the existing knowledge. So that is typically the content discussion. Good. Next one. Conclusion. Really important answer. Okay, good. Next one. That's all. Next. Next. Oh, okay. Conclusion is very simple. I have already explained. Next. This is almost last slide. Next. Next. Yeah, this is perhaps the typical components of the conclusion part. And first is you pick up the key findings from the previous chapters, main conclusion and key findings, and then the most important implication. You need to emphasize how your result contribute to the existing knowledge. And then we should discuss how study will shape fields. And then lastly, but important, last but not least, we should respond to the main research questions that we set in the introduction. If you do so, out. Next one. This one now. Okay. Right. Next one. I think that's all. Huh? I think this one. Right. Okay. Next one. I think better to make the conclusion concise answer. Sometimes we get to the conclusion. Shorter is better. Okay, but anyway, so these four components are almost necessary typical components of conclusion. Next one. Oh, right here it is. Let's try to skip this kind of my example, but almost the same. Spend so much time to get this right. Next one. Okay, this is the final slide. This summaries grand summary presentation. Okay, this clip. Now you understand, right? This finally now nicely illustrates the components, structure, organization of the scientific paper. Introduction, yes, introduce topic. And then you make sure there is existing knowledge that I mentioned repeatedly. And then you identify the problem. And then you now do the research questions to solve the problem. And then you do the objective to you respond to the research question. And then you go to the method results, you do the new findings. And then discussion you connect and integrate the reach the results existing knowledge and new findings. Good. And then conclusion. These are some of the questions that we need to answer by each of the sections. Good. Next one. Sorry for more throughout my presentation. This is the only and the most important keyword of the nature of that scientific contribution. Next one. Hey, that's all. The following slide are actually appendix. So I some can be the possibly interesting tips for writing papers as appendix. If you are interested in this material, then the small tips. I prepared two slides actually. So this is still number one. Number two, I prepare one presentation that explains, for instance, how to choose the journal. For instance, you may confused now that thousands of journals are there. Which journal is suitable for you? Okay, I'll give you some tips in the second presentation. Right, yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor. I think it's very detailed and we can follow the path. I'm sure the participants already want to do step by step, very detailed, and we can share the video about the sample. Okay, dear participant, we would like to invite you to discuss, answer, and maybe idea, please. Yeah. So, I want to ask about is it more preferences or more different our seeing the perfect level and how if we find whatever there's so many ability.
Thank you so much. So, yeah, the first question is that I know it's a typical question. So, let's say how many papers should be quoted or cited in one. So, I don't have the answer. But if I ask, I think that maybe approximately at least my personal opinion, minimum 20 papers. But nowadays, the 20 papers are possible to not. Depends on the application of the knowledge. So nowadays, yeah, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, yes, I think that let's say it was enough to report it. So nowadays, there are so many studies. So therefore, I think that recently, for instance, recent papers, students, for instance, more than hundreds of papers. Started quite common. So, but it's not one. It's important is that the mission to identify scientific contribution. As long as you can identify nicely clarified scientific contribution, even 3 paper, 4 paper, it's enough. But it is the most important. So therefore, the number is not much. Most important is the quality. So yes, the most important is how you can clarify your personality and also the scientific contributions. That's number one. Number question number 2 was about data. How to find so many data. It's also in a way the question, yeah, it's survey, for instance, social survey. So, yeah, sometimes yes, if your sample size is too small, yeah, then your paper will be because I know this is something to do with the solidness of your method. The sample size is only let's say less than 100, for instance. Which so that your sample cannot represent the whole current population. So if so that we cannot trust your result. So this means that the sample size is not enough as a statistical data, for instance. So again, it's also it's a matter of quantity, but yeah, the matter of quality is also. Did I answer your question? Okay.
Based on your experience, how long for one papers from one submitted until published?
I don't okay. Needless to say that we need the writing period or that's it. It's it. Your question is the writing period or reviewing period. Which one?
I mean, from the first time you submit the paper until it's submitted, it is normally how long from initially time until it's published?
The reviewing process it depends on the 100% depends on journal units. And then as you remember, now we can check the reviewing period in the website. As you remember. Right. For instance, if you take a look at the Elsevier from the top page, for instance, right, you can easily find the specific average duration, from submission timing until the first result. So then just for your information, building an environment is very quick. Averagely 2 weeks or less. For reviewer also very tough. It required us to review, within 2 days or 21 days or something. It's very tough. But it depends on the journal. Some journal it's quite long. So therefore, especially for the PhD candidates to check it because for important, yeah, you need to submit the papers before the PhD degree. So to check the reviewing period, now we can check it. It's very important.
Next question.
Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Fatina. My question is first, yeah, PhD students, especially are asked to find research gap or the novelties in the beginning, but we need 3 years or more to the PhD, and then how if the final or PhD we found that other people in the other part of the world also doing the similar thing to us. How do we manage the question of what is your novelty or research gap? If we find other people also doing similar things in the other part of the world, that's the first question. And then how do we manage that? And then the second question is, do you have any strategy to section your research? Let's say PhD research is quite a big research. How do you section the results into parts of papers? Do you have any strategy? Or I mean, just put it in one most reputable journal, all the results in one paper for the section. That's my question.
Oh, thank you. Oh, those are good questions, actually. Now, first thing is, yeah, in a way, as long as you can prove that your research is new, so if so, I think that, that your paper can be accepted. So the important is whether you can prove it or not. And then, of course, you cannot take a lot. You should do the literature review precisely. And then, if you find a very similar study, for instance, so you should make sure of the differences. As long as you can, make sure of the differences, even if it is tiny, still you can maintain the validity. If you unluckily find that exactly same, and I don't have this kind of experience, so even very similar one, I think if you take a look at the video, you will be able to find some differences actually. So that is my, experience. But the important is that that this is in a way the degree of novelty. If okay, that you find that very similar one, for instance, and then the similarity is very small, for instance. I'm sorry. Difference is very small. Only tiny, new knowledge is there. In that case, as I mentioned earlier, you cannot go for the groundbreaking, the journal. So, but if your novelty is large compared to the existing knowledge, apparently your is new. Right? In that case, you can go for basically. Second one is not a good question. I think that it's no wonder I think of how to divide it different papers. Okay. Your result is this, your project is this, and then how many papers can you publish? So that's depends on the content. Yeah, that's a good question. Better to ask this. Application partner. But only one thing I can say here is basically, short paper is better. It's writing. So especially young researcher, you tend to prepare the long nicely because you are very big passion and make a lot of paper. You may think long is better, but in a way, not in a way, simple, clear is much better. In that even short paper, if the content is there, if the novelty is there, that can be answered. So therefore, in a way, in short, the short paper is better, interesting. This point comes especially for the beginners, difficult to understand how. Because the very big point is actually to identify such a and then only experienced professor can know this finding is really known. The magnitude of novelty can be known by the experienced researcher. Speaking. So therefore, if you cannot understand the magnitude of novelty, better to consult with the professors. Good question. Which is very interesting. So therefore, for your information, when I was a PhD student, I produced a certain figure actually. For me, this is normal because this is just a process of data analysis. And then I show this simple result for your information. This just a simple chart just indicates the relationship between the housing density and the average mean speed of neighborhood area. Actually, we found that very clear relationship between the two. As the housing density increases, average mean speed of the area decreases. Nowadays, people don't shine. Actually, we found it. And then now that this is appeared in almost all the textbooks. And then at that time, this is just for me normal because this is part of my data analysis. And then I showed this my professor, especially the very senior professor who's to university. And then he said that this is very important. Very important. And then we should publish. Even one single figure is can be published. And then that was 200%. We cannot judge. So better to consult with the experts. Yeah, as I mentioned just now, some experience is needed. Otherwise, we cannot know the magnitude of the impact. Okay. It's difficult for research to find. But for me, I think now it's a post concept. Okay, if you see your result, I think I can identify, oh, this result is something important. This is not so, because I don't know. We should study the existing knowledge very deeply. Only such experienced person can understand how much you know. Or maybe just for gambling. With a very high level journal. And then the reviewer checks the magnitude of if your paper is accepted by such a high level paper, that indicates your finding is something good. Thank you very much. Actually, that was experience more than me, so therefore the stage will give the comments in front of you. Anyway, so actually I explained that one, okay, how to choose the suitable journal. In the second presentation, actually, if I'm not mistaken, the first step is to make a short list of the journal. So then first of all, I think the one way is again start with your supervisor. I'm sorry, this is not for yes, and then second is that yes, I think please take a look at the second presentation. Actually, nowadays, interestingly, there are some very useful software that may recommend you the suitable channels. If you took a keyword, the search engine, probably some of you knows. So Exivia also has. Just the keyword. Search engine just recommend you some of the very channels actually very interesting. And then just for your information, yes, level of the channel, it's not only can be determined by the experts, but I think that go for higher channel first. Okay. Because I rejected no problem. Only as you know, high channel, 20 or 20% channel accepted. Never just go slightly lower and then resubmit and then go lower, and so therefore the first better to prepare such a short list from the higher channel to the slightly lower. This is that's an explanation.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sensei. Actually, my question is, if we read any article, journal articles, and then actually the features such as good data and then also good research, then what kind of article if we want to submit it to journal, but actually only so for example, how many literature have to read and then what kind of analysis for it because especially in first year, so it's so important for me to read the literature as many as I can. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Do you mean you want to write a literature review paper?
Yes.
A review paper? Oh, review paper for beginner, in a way that I'm sorry to say it's a little bit not easy, honestly. I myself also, I don't have the strong experience of publishing a review paper. Review paper normally, a very experienced professor, for instance, who completely understand the detail, the knowledge of the topic knowledge in that field. So this, the gentleman can write such a the literature review paper. But don't worry, I'm sorry for discouraging you in a way. That, but I have experience of reviewing some review papers actually. And then my observation is this: typical sequence storyline in the paper is yes. First is again overall review. Then after that, they move on to their research work, and then especially pick up some their own research work, and then discuss the detail. So that is the typical sequence of some of the literature reviews. But some experiences it seems easier. But of course, even for the PhD candidates, literature review is must. I think that it's not necessary to publish a literature review paper, but still the literature review is a leader system, equally important. In order to identify innovation.
Okay. Aja.
Exploration.
First of all, I was really impressed to see that, for instance, that now that for instance, yes, that they last week they started with nonsense, and then he now published many people now more than 50, and then very energetically students actually. Therefore, I was that was students. So in front of the excellent students like people of and they did thank you very much for listening. Despite that, thank you very much.
This for being as well as the program for such conversation. Their benefit for all of us. Okay, so to show our gratitude to Professor Kubota, we'd like to invite our architectural postgraduate program SMD something to give. A token of appreciation to Professor Kubota for his assignment presentation and also for sharing his knowledge in this program. And now we would like to invite our parents and students for a photo session. Now we've come to the end of our event forum. On behalf of our postgraduate study program, I would like to express our gratitude to those who have participated in this seminar. See you at the upcoming events held by SMD. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What's that? That's it.